Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The Battle of Hunain. At this time, the tribes of Hawazin and Thaqif showed unwillingness to render obedience to the Muslim without resistance. They formed a league with the intention of attacking the Prophet, but he was vigilant enough to frustrate their plan. A big battle was fought with this new enemy of Islam near Hunain, a deep and narrow ravine 9 miles northeast of Mecca. The idolaters were utterly defeated, but the victory, when it came, was complete and the booty enormous. For many of the hostile tribes had brought out with them everything that they possessed. One body of the enemy, consisting chiefly of the Thaqif tribe, took refuge in their fortified city of Taif, which 8 or 9 years before had dismissed the Prophet ﷺ from within its walls with injuries and insults. The remainder of the defeated force, consisting principally of the Hawazin, sought refuge at a camp in the valley of Autas. This camp was raided by the Muslim troops. The families of the Hawazin, their flocks and herds, with all their other effects, were captured by the troops of the Prophet. Taif was then besieged for a few days only, after which the Prophet raised the siege, well knowing that the people of Taif would soon be forced by circumstances to submit without bloodshed. Returning to his camp, where the prisoners of Hawazin were left safely, the Prophet found a deputation from this hostile tribe who begged him to set free their families. The Prophet replied that he was willing to give back his own share of the captives and that of the children of Abdul Muttalib, but that he could not force his followers to abandon the fruits of their victory. The disciples followed the generous example of their teacher. The hearts of several members of the Thaqif tribe were so influenced by this that they offered their allegiance and soon became earnest Muslims. The Prophet now returned to Medina fully satisfied with the achievements of his mission. The idolaters of Taif, the very people who had driven the Messenger of Islam from their midst with violence and contempt, now sent a deputation to pray forgiveness and ask to be numbered among his followers. They begged, however, for temporary preservation of their idols. As a last appeal, they begged for 1 month of grace only, but even this was not conceded. The Prophet said, Islam and the idols could not exist together. They then begged for exemption from the daily prayers. The Prophet replied that without devotion, religion would be nothing. At last they submitted to all that was required of them. They, however, asked to be exempted from destroying the idols with their own hands. This was granted. The Prophet ﷺ selected Abu Sufyan and Mughira to destroy the idols of Taif, the chief of which was the notorious idol of Allat. The conversion of this tribe of Taif is worthy of notice. This tribe, which hitherto had proved hostile to the new faith, was noted among the Arabs for its idolatrous priesthood. A small detachment under Ali was sent to reduce them to obedience and destroy their idols. The declaration of immunity marks the end of idol worship in Arabia. The tribe of Thaqif was among the enemy at Hunain. After that victory, their city of Taif was besieged by the Muslims. Then the Prophet appointed a governor of Mecca and returned to Almadinah to the boundless joy of the Ansar, who had fear lest, now he had regained the native city, he might forsake them and make Mecca the capital. Next, inshallah, we will talk about the year of deputations. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.